welcome to another episode of the Business Coaching Workshop. We are joined today with, I guess, two special guests. Dan, you staying on? Gonna do it
Yeah,
live?
let's go.
All right. So we got Dan Shell, who's usually behind the scenes, working the ones and the twos, keeping this thing running. And Mac McGregor, some of you know, obviously he's hosted the show a couple times, and those that have signed up with TurnKey Coach have probably gotten an email from Mac at one point. And today we've got a fun topic. It's going to shamelessly turn into a demo of TurnKey Coach features. This is, of course, the Business of Coaching Workshop powered by TurnKey Coach. And we are getting more and more requests for kind of how-to discussions, and we are releasing features at a pace that is accelerated a lot in the last few months with the release of some of the new agentic programming tools. So our feature velocity has increased a lot. So we thought it would be good to kick off a series over the next few weeks where we dig into and demonstrate some of the features that we have. And of course, we're live. So if you're part of the community, or if you want to ask some questions, I see Burgos is on there live right now. If you guys have any questions, feel free to drop those in, and we can pause. Actually, Dan, one thing while we're sitting here, it looks like the live stream is kind of, all of our images are cut off.
Yeah, it's only on Instagram. On YouTube, it looks good.
Okay.
I'm gonna investigate. I'll probably pull myself off. Sorry about that. People watching it on Instagram. It's better on YouTube.
So the first feature or the first conversation, what I wanted to do was sort of start the first half, Mac, with talking about a workflow or a coaching workshop concept, and then roll that into how we execute in TurnKey Coach. And the first one that came to mind is the coaching flow state, and what that's like as an online coach, and how that's a little bit different than coaching in person. And you have both been a gym owner and in-person coach and an online coach. So, does that make sense? Does that resonate with you, what I'm talking about, kind of how those universes are different?
Yeah, 100%. Because I think as an in-person coach, certainly as a gym owner, there was no flow state. You were just on the floor and working your ass off. And when I made the transition to online, I still did not have a flow state, and I was overwhelmed. I remember having a discussion with you then, telling you just how relentless that I felt just having a handful of clients. I think I had 8 or 9 clients online, and I was just on all the time. Because I couldn't compartmentalize, I couldn't prioritize, I had no boundaries. And then once you settle into doing things like having boundaries, like say, hey, I'm only going to reply in this time. I'm only going to do X, Y, Z. These are the things that we've agreed on. If you still don't have a flow state, you can over-deliver in buckets, which we all do when we first start out. We over-deliver and over-deliver. And you can still get distracted. You can hyper-focus on one thing and forget about everything else. You can still forget things. And so finding a flow state where suddenly you can compress all that work that you've been doing in 24 hours into a much smaller block during the day. It means you're hyper-focused on your clients. You're hyper-focused on what's important to your clients. And you're not missing anything. So I think going from not understanding or having or experiencing a flow state to having one is a jump, and then you need to have a concept of what that is. Otherwise, you're missing out. So yeah, that would be my opener.
Yeah, I would frame being in a flow state as a hyper-present state of being in which you're not having to think about what you're doing, you're just doing. And I suspect you did actually get into a flow state in person. maybe not. Maybe you were just constantly scrambling. But being in person, I think, has certain constraints in terms of being in the same physical space, having a same, a bounded set of time, and a limited amount of things pulling at your attention that if you ever got into coaching like a group where you've got 4 to 8 people or whatever, you kind of get into this state where you're just coaching and you're not thinking about your coaching. Maybe you were, but would you say you ever got into that point where you weren't having to think about what you were doing? You just were fully engaged with what was happening in the room, coaching and solving problems as they came up, and you get done with the hour and you're just like, here's the other thing I notice when you're truly in the flow state, time it just disappears. You pick your head up and you come out of that state, and all of a sudden 3 hours could have passed and it could have been 15 minutes for all you knew.
No, I would agree there. Yes. Perhaps I was being a little bit unfair on myself, but I remember when I first started running barbell classes, I had eight people, 4 racks, 8 people. Oh, am I still here? There we go.
You're still here.
4 racks, 8 people. And especially when you're dealing with people who've never touched a barbell before. Yeah. You are hyper aware. Right. Absolutely laser beam focused into those people. And you're just going from problem to problem to problem, solving. Right. You're not spending a whole bunch of time analyzing, you're acting.
Yep. Right, exactly.
Boom, boom, boom. And then, that hour or 90 minutes later, you think, I haven't stopped talking in all this time. I haven't stopped working.
The other thing I'll notice when I get into a flow state is I no longer feel distracted thinking about how much time I have left, other than I'm checking the clock like, oh my gosh, I only have this much time to get all these things done. But what ends up, and I don't want to stop. I usually just run out of energy. Like my eyes start feeling kind of drained and my brain's sort of cooked, and I start slowing down mentally. So time no longer becomes the throttle, if you will. It's my energy. Like I'm like so engrossed in the topic or the task at hand that I lose track of time. And it's only when my body starts basically shutting down that I'm like, okay, I have to stop because like I'm too locked in on this thing. But when you move into online coaching, and I think we all kind of went through this phase at one point or another, and we've been doing this for coming up on a decade plus, some of us. You go through a bit of this learning curve where it feels like, oh, I'm doing online coaching, so I can just do this from anywhere at any time, and that's awesome. And then next thing you know, you find yourself like on the couch eating a bowl of cereal with the laptop on one leg, and people are walking around the room, and you think you're like juggling all these tasks, but you're just doing everything terribly. You're ignoring the people around you, delivering crappy service, and wasting a bunch of time, being distracted by whatever else is going wrong, checking your phone, checking your email. Any split second of downtime is an opportunity for some idea to jump into your brain, and then you're off the internet, rabbit hole. And now it's even compounded by having an AI agent that you can, talk about all the existential problems in the world and, just completely derail that flow state. And there is no, to your point, I think you're spot on when you were talking about boundaries. Now with online coaching or asynchronous coaching, you no longer have any constraint to the amount of time that you could spend on it. When you're working in person, somebody usually signs up for an hour and a half, whatever it might be. And you have the setup and the teardown and the session, and eventually they leave because they have something better to do with their life. But with asynchronous coaching, you could spend literally an indefinite amount of time navel gazing about somebody's program or researching whatever situation they have, or if you're Burgos who's listening in live, trying to figure out how you're going to respond to Harold or whatever insane client du jour problem that he has. Or a client can ask you, a 1 or 2 line question that might take you half a day to respond to intelligently. And you can get that all day long. So there's no natural boundaries with the online or asynchronous coaching platform. And so where this starts to transition into talking about TurnKey Coach is that, I believe that one of the unique or some of the unique things that we've baked into the TurnKey Coach user experience is as a workflow page that helps you stay in that flow state, and a set of controls that you can use to manage the boundaries that you want to hold, so that you're not getting notified 24/7, so that you do get to a point during the day where it says, congrats, you're all done. And you get to that point and you can just shut the laptop, whatever, shut down the desktop and move on until the next day when you wake up and or whatever the next period of time is that you're going to work. But you can compartmentalize your work with some of these tools and give yourself an actual sense of start and stop time.
Yeah, the that reward that you get when you clear out your workflow and it presents that little present. Hey, you're done. That's one of the best parts of my day. It's like, bang, I'm now on to the next task.
Those are the kinds of things that Divium has added that, like, my brain is just not wired. I'd be just as happy if it punched me in the face. I don't know. Like, he's got such a better eye for making things feel nice. And so all of the design changes that you notice where it, like, you just feel your eyes relieve, like you feel like your brain gets smooth. Those are all 100% because of Divium. It has nothing to do with me. I'd be happy if it looked like Minecraft. It's like, although, who knows? Some people think Minecraft's beautiful. I don't know. Anyways, what do you think about jumping straight into the Connect page and just do kind of like a live walkthrough of what we're actually talking about?
Yeah, let's do it. I think that'll be useful. Yes.
All right. Let's see if I can actually pull this off. I've only shared my screen a handful of times. I want... a Chrome tab. Not that one.
I believe, Andrew. I believe. Come on.
Drum roll. Got to make sure I don't, if I share the wrong tab, this could be, this could get real awkward real quick. All right. How we doing?
Hurrah. That looks good. Looks good.
Made it to the Connect page. So this is one of the hardest pages to describe to people that are new to TurnKey Coach or online coaching in general. When you first look at this page, especially when you first sign up, it's pretty underwhelming. There's not much happening on this page because you don't have any clients yet. You don't have any completed workouts. Yes, you show up and we've made sure that there's a demo workout with videos, but I don't think you really start to feel the value of the Connect page and how much we've invested in making this page work the way it does until you have a steady stream of notifications coming in from your clients and you're able to actually be in that flow state and work at an incredibly efficient way while still delivering really good quality coaching to your clients. Not because you're rushing, but because things are set up for you to have all of the information and all of the context that you need in one place and all of the tools to be able to deliver high-value coaching in a very simple and effective manner that doesn't create a whole bunch of those gaps between coaching feedback where your brain has the opportunity to go down, chase a squirrel. So just at a real quick, very simple glance, I have everything collapsed right now. So it looks very simple. But the purpose of that is because I wanted to make it so that you can, in a brief snapshot, have an understanding of how much work that you have to do at any given point in time. So at the top of the page of this Connect page, you have a very brief summary of how many notifications you have and what type. For those that are on TurnKey Coach right now, this is a feature that's about to get released. I think I've shown it once before, or a version of it, but it's been improved. And it's released to our Barbell Logic team for beta testing and should go out to the rest of the TurnKey Coach users within the next week. So if you don't recognize this, stay tuned. It's coming soon. But at the top, so you can very quickly see all of the notifications. I have 22 notifications, and that's both due workouts and comments due today and tomorrow. I have 15 workouts, which I can click and quick filter that down to just workouts completed, 2 nutrition check-ins completed, 3 programming notifications, all due today. Now those could be those are clients that need programming, and then I have 4 missed workout notifications. You can see how those are spread out based on the days, and that just again gives you the ability to quickly understand how much work is to be done and filter it the way that you want. One of the biggest differences I think TurnKey Coach has between a lot of other software is that there's a lot of other solutions out there that give you a lot of information, but it's not always clear what to do. And the way the Connect page works for you as a coach is that it distills everything down into a list of notifications that are essentially tasks to be done. And when you get through your list of tasks and you get them done, and we get to that shiny congrats, your work is done for the day, that you can close your laptop and move on. And you know that all of your customers have feedback on their workouts, programs in their calendar, and a chance to respond to their missed workouts, and of course their DMs as well. So there's a couple of things, settings that you have on this page that you can customize. One is to clear the workout after you finish the review, which I find to be useful for staying in the flow state, because as soon as I finish uploading video, which it does automatically for me, it closes that workout and opens the next workout for me, and I don't have to think about any of the administration. I like to show missed workouts, but you can filter that out. If you don't want a notification for that, some people are less motivated to check that regularly. I think that it's critical personally. All of these features, by the way, are things that I've created because I had that moment when I didn't realize somebody hadn't worked out for like a week, because I didn't get a notification that they completed their workout, and I forgot to check that they did. So instead of having to have a mental reminder, I just get a notification. If they haven't completed a workout in 48 hours, I get a notification on my page, and I know to go check in on what's happening there. And then you also have the ability to filter for only showing what's due today, which is really nice for that boundary setting side of the conversation that we talked about. So right now you can see that if I just filter for what's due today, now my filters all drop to 12, 8, 1, 3, and 2. So I have the option to pay attention to whether or not, or whether I want to work ahead or just focus on what's due today. And that's based on my review preferences, which you can customize for your business. So you can see here we have holidays and non-working days. The non-working days, looks like I got a little bug I need to fix here, but Sundays are a non-working day, and we also have MLK, so you can manage holidays as well on your account, and those can be either automatically reviewed or a delayed review period. So you can see in your review preferences, owners can adjust these. I'm not set up as the owner in Barbell Logic, so I can't edit them, but you can change those, and the default is for 24 hours, but you can also customize that to whatever your service level agreement is with your clients. Back to the Connect page, you can also group by client or group by day. So you can see here in the group by client phase, all of the notifications are organized by client, or I can group them by day and then they're still within the day organized by client, but it helps you again separate between the 2 days. Lately, I used to work grouped by client, but lately I've been enjoying the grouped by day, because it's still within the day, puts notifications next to each other, so you get the kind of best of both worlds. So now you can see I've expanded the day, and I can actually see line by line on him, or client by client, I should say, what work I have to go do. And it breaks out those notifications into each line. I can also see how many comments, how many videos were posted, what type of notification it is, when the assignment was programmed. So this workout was programmed for Wednesday. It's now Thursday, and I'm looking back at this Wednesday workout. Over here, there's a couple icons that you can interact with. I can pop up their direct message modal, and I can also pop up their calendar, which since the Chrome recent release, I've been using the split view. Also, shout out to Burgos who mentioned and brought this one up, because I like to work with with the calendar and the Connect page in a shared split screen. So now I can look at both their calendar and their workout at the same time, because I typically like to program while I'm providing my feedback. If they have left a direct message, this is another recent change. Let's see if any of my clients here they haven't, but if they have sent you a DM, you'll see a little notification on the DM icon, so that you don't have to go check to see it before doing their feedback. If they've sent you anything, you can just click this if they have, and you can have their chat pop-up open as well, which more and more I've been preferring to provide video responses or audio responses to chat rather than typing it all out. So now we actually get into what the workflow looks like. And all I do is click this button, share my screen, and I go right into coaching. So now you can see the picture in the pictures popped up. This control panel has popped up. With drawing tools, I can mute or unmute my microphone. I can turn my camera on and off. I can stop the recording, pause it, or send it to the workout. I click that button, share the screen, and go right into feedback. Always greet them by name. Hey, Andy, how's it going? I might open up their tonnage graph and see what we've been doing from a work standpoint. Might open up their consistency graph, see what they've been doing in terms of compliance. And then I go right into watching the video. I tend to pop out the video, and I'll put it over here on the right side of the screen so that I can continue to work through, and I'll talk to whatever comments they may have left. So these were tough compared to 2 weeks ago. He just took a week off and went cross-country skiing. So you get an opportunity to just kind of interact with how things are going. Meanwhile, I'm also watching his movement. Might comment on where the balance is. He's getting a little bit back on his heels, but overall pretty solid. We've been working on getting his knees and his hips to work together. He has a tendency to just shoot his knees and then finish with his hips, but then I'll roll right into his next video. I typically have my clients post their last set. I might encourage him on this one to see if he can get a little bit more range of motion.
Do you have your split screen on, Andrew?
Oh, you're not seeing both?
No, we're just seeing the left-hand side. Oh, sorry, we're just seeing the Connect page. We're not seeing
Okay, let me see if I can fix that. That might be... Stop share screen and share screen. I'll just switch to share entire screen and see if this works.
Yeah, roger that.
How's that?
Stand by. Can we add you to the stage? Here we go. Yeah, that looks good. We've got it.
All right. So apologies for those that are following along, but I've had this calendar on the right side of the screen the whole time. And when I was talking about popping out the video, it looks like this. So they can still see me, lower left hand. Oop. I close that. I don't need myself to be that big. They can still see me in the lower left hand. I can see them in the right side of the screen, and I can read their comments. I can open up their PR graph if I need to, the recent history. I might pull up the demo video if I need to. Like, I might say, we've got this incredibly handsome young man over here demonstrating the dip. Let's take a look at this wonderful range of motion. Who is this guy? What a beast of a man. Notice the shoulders getting below the elbows. This is just absolute perfection. So strong. Anyways, and then usually I'll have these just playing, whatever it is that I want to comment on, and then I'll watch his videos and let it roll while I'm providing feedback. Then I also typically collect, I think I've mentioned this before, 5 metrics: duration, difficulty, fatigue, and I've recently added enjoyment and motivation to give me insight to some of the subjective things that you have a harder time picking up when you're just watching somebody online and not working with them in person. So I can track those over time, see how things are going, motivation, everything's good. Now, I'll also typically, while I'm working on while I'm talking or watching feedback, I'll go in and, next week, instead of adding weight, let's add a rep. And dips, you did 8. Let's see if we can get to 9. Barbell curls, same thing. So lately I've been doing a lot of rep progression. I'll just cycle reps and then add weight when they get up to some, either they start grinding out at a certain number, or usually it's somewhere between 10 to 15 reps. On the compounds, I'm typically doing somewhere between 4 to 8 reps before I cycle the weight. But anyways, I'll edit the program, and now Andy's programmed a week ahead. Another recent feature that we just added is the ability to manage whether or not a workout is published. Let's say I want to put that workout out there, but I don't want him to see it. I can now toggle whether it's published or unpublished with this button. And I can do that with however many workouts I have selected. Let's say I don't want to publish next week. I can unpublish them. I can also manage that visibility from my client page in a different way. So there's 2 different ways you can control now. So if you look at this client visibility column, you can now set the limit. Let's say I only want him to be able to see 7 days in advance. And I can set this by each client. So I set him to 7 days. Oops, I set that to Ben. I'm actually going to set it to Andy here. So I set him to 7 days in the future. Now what you'll see is this little eyeball icon 7 days out. And that tells you that this is not visible to Andy. So you can control the default visibility, and then you can also manually control what gets published. That's just a little brief detour from the idea that I work on the program about a week in advance. Once I'm done recording, all I do, and this gets back to the flow state idea, this was one of the biggest breakthroughs from a feature development standpoint, that instead of having to manage all of my videos with a third-party app and change the title and download it and then upload it, all I do is click the send button, and you'll notice a couple of things happen. It's going to automatically download to my hard drive, so I have a copy of it. It collapsed that workout and automatically started the upload, which I'm going to interrupt, hopefully, so it doesn't send. Yep. It automatically started that upload, and you could see the progress bar tracking, and then it opened the next workout. So if I didn't scroll up just for the purpose of this podcast, it would have me right here, and I could, before the first video is even done uploading, I can click the record button, start the recording, and move on and open up the calendar. So I'll typically just right click here, set it up in the split view, click record, and roll right into the next recording. So those are really, as we get up to the end of the hour here, the key features that I use to stay in the flow state. And not have to wonder what task to do next. I don't have to get distracted by administering the feedback. It automatically records my screen, automatically sends it to the right client. Back when I was using a third-party app, copy pasting links or uploading, I would I would occasionally send the wrong video to the wrong client. This is all seamlessly integrated now, so I never send the video to the wrong client. And you're able to just focus on coaching and being in the flow state, totally engaged with your client's workout. And then when you're done, you close the laptop and you move on with your life.
Yeah, it's super satisfying, isn't it? Yeah, you when you're working through it and you're in that flow and you recognize that you're in that flow, it's like Bruce Almighty. You're just and
yes,
in it,
exactly,
doing what you need to do. And then when Divium's little present cracks open at the end, it's not just the reward of, oh, I'm done. It's, you haven't missed anything. Mm-hmm. There's
yes.
no little chimp on
there's
your
no
shoulder.
second guessing, like, oh, did I remember to program, or did so and so do their workout, or did so and so leave a comment? I better go check in on this one. I got to remember to check in on that one. It's all, you're fed the tasks that you need to do, and it's just a relief. I used to get, we've had some people brag about, oh, I wake up at 3 a.m. remembering. I don't need that notification. I'm like, are you kidding me? I don't want to be waking up at 3 a.m. wondering if so and so did their workout. That is not a flex. That is ridiculous.
That's not a way to live. No. I'm too old for that. It's not happening. No.
I mean, I like coaching, but I don't want to be having nightmares in the middle of the night about whether or not I remember to program. And I mean, I've definitely had those moments where I was that person as well. Like, I forgot to program so and so. But
yeah,
most of the
it's not
features
only
now,
it's not that you've just remembered. It's you wake up as if you've just died in a dream. You're like, I haven't done the thing, and you've either got to go and deal with it, or you sleep like crap afterwards, don't you? So,
yeah, that's funny. You mentioned the flow state thing too. About just like, I had a client ask me the other recently whether I get. Sometimes I'll get frustrated with getting asked the same question over and over again, which is why we created the new resources feature. I'll be speaking to this probably in a soon to happen episode, but most of the time I don't get too bothered by it because I don't even notice what I'm doing. I like to work with time blocking on my calendar. At the smallest increment I'll work usually is like 15 minutes, but I like 15 to 30 minutes. I think that's kind of the sweet spot. Matt has talked about the Pomodoro, the 20-minute Pomodoro, which I think is a great way to go. I definitely notice, like, after about 45 minutes, it's harder to stay in the flow state. An hour tops. There used to be times when I would slog for like an hour and a half, and I find that to be challenging. I like 15 to 30 minutes personally.
So I think I'm on the other side of that coin. I think, when I'm in that flow state, I don't want to stop.
Yeah, that's true.
If there's still work to be done and I'm in that zone, I don't want to have a timer go off and interrupt me at 30 minutes in.
Yeah, that's
so
true.
my approach is, if as long as the work that I'm doing is of a sufficient quality and I'm digging it, I'll just keep going. So 60 minutes, 90 minutes, 2 hours, no problem.
Yeah.
But it's depending. It's all dependent on your ability to have that workflow or the coaching.
Yeah, I think it's really important to remember what it's like from your customer's perspective. Speaking of Burgos, again, shout out to him. I really love watching his video feedback because his demeanor and style feels like it's the only video review he's ever done in his life. It's like a production often. There's often skits and and characters, but there's never a sense of rushing. And that's what I think is really cool about it. If you can be in the flow state, the true sense of it, it's not like you're as slow as fast, I guess is maybe like the cliche, right? But it's like the administrative tasks are made to be as close to instantaneous as possible. Clicking a button to upload the video, start the recording, all this kind of stuff. But the actual coaching itself can then be relaxed because you're not rushing to do all of the box clicking and typing and tapping. You just start record and you're cool. Just cool as a cucumber, do your thing. And your videos are the same. Like, you are very patient and methodical and, thoughtful in your coaching. And I think the customer really feels that.
Well, the act of coaching this way is fun. We're all coaches
Yes.
because we like to coach.
Yeah.
And this aspect of the workflow where you remove as much of the suck from that process as possible. It's fun to be coaching. And, all the suck of, did I remember to do the thing? I've just sent the wrong thing to the wrong person again.
Right.
Whatever it is doesn't exist. So it's fun to be present. It's fun to coach, which is why I can quite happily sit for an hour or 2 hours and coach.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't suck. It's great. It's fantastic fun.
I am doing everything in my power not to make a joke about sucking, but I'm gonna keep things super professional today and let everybody's imagination run with that wherever they want. But we are over the time. Burgos, it's been awesome to see you chat live streaming. Nikki, I see you in here as well. If there's anybody else out, thanks for following along. Burgos says, in an age where everything is AI or automated, it's rare to find a coaching professional who genuinely wants to connect with people. And I totally agree. I have mentioned this on other podcasts that I think the human connection is where we need to double down. Programming, anybody can look up a program, anybody can look up technical feedback, but being able to connect with another human is where there's still, I think, unique value, and it does make it fun. So hopefully that was useful. Stay tuned. We will be going over a lot more features, things we've recently released, a ton of features to the channels. You can pin messages, you can reply to messages, you can emoji messages, you can change the icon of the channel now. We've added a resources tab where you can create a custom library. We've got onboarding documents that can now be integrated into your client sign-up process. Multiple workouts per day, the publish, unpublish, the visibility feature. We're adding new features pretty much every day right now. And so we will be doing this for a while until we get the next interview lined up. But let us know if there is a feature or topic that you want us to cover in particular, and we'll get that in the agenda. But until next week, bye-bye. Oh, and in the meantime, since we've been doing a shameless plug, we'll shameless plug ourselves again to check out the Maximize Profit and Client Experience ebook at turnkey.coach/maximize, where you can learn how to make money while making your clients happy. See you next week.
Rock and roll.